After installing my new ignition components on the 300 CE, I decided to tackle the interior, and I had to replace the old radio that was in there. It wasn't the original one, and it didn't look good, and I wanted to put a period Alpine in there, so I picked one up, I put it in, installed that. I ran the wiring for the sound system I'm going to have in the back. I temporarily wired it up. I'll show you guys that, and then that's all rough. It all works now. Interior's back together. Then I went to fire the car up, and lo and behold, a new problem arose, and the car did not want to start. It was running and driving fine the day before. However, I did notice that the fuel pumps were particularly loud, which usually means that the fuel accumulator is going bad and it's not doing its job. So I took a look under there, and there was some shiesty fuel pumps installed, not Bosch, and yeah, all of it was just funky looking, some bungee cords. I ordered up all the right parts, so that's what I'm working on today. I'm going to be changing out, you know it, the fuel pump, fuel filter, accumulator, the hose for the fuel tank, the hose for the fuel pumps, and the strainer inside the fuel tank, also the fuel filter. So what I did when I encountered the issue, the troubleshooting was as follows: disconnecting the main feed line right at this point here, putting a hose into the accumulator, front fuel pressure accumulator end, and putting that tube into a bottle and cranking the car to see if fuel is going through. I knew that was my issue because there was no fuel coming through, and you can also test the fuel pump, which I'll do now. Either way, I wanted to replace those things, so not an issue. While I'm under there, I'll check the pump if they're getting power, and if they're not, well then we might have a fuel pump relay issue, which is right behind the battery over there. I do have a fuel accumulator, idle air control valve, a refurbished one I purchased, that I will swap out if I need to. I think this might be good. I also got a micro switch, which was getting stuck. That was like 30 bucks from Mercedes. I purchased that. I got an oil filter for oil change, and I'll just go and start doing things as they come. The spark plug wires are all in. I have a cover coming from Europe for the front here, and I've located one of these as well because this tab is cracked here. I also have a fuel tank, or not a fuel tank, but a coolant reservoir with the new cap. This is the new cap I put on. I got the new hose that runs here to here. Speaking of which, it reminds me I have to replace the hose on the SL. But nevertheless, let me show you the sound system in all its glory and ghetto-ness. If I could open this. Okay. Oh, here we have it. And this is pushed out, obviously. This is temporary. I took it from the SL. Here's some Carver amps I had. Some pretty old school Carver amps. They work. I had a nice Alpine amp that's not working, so I'm going to try to locate another one. Plan is to do a beauty panel here. One 12-inch sub, which I ordered, and an Alpine, and have one of the Alpine amps on display, and hiding all this wiring, tidying it up, zip tying it. Very clean install I want to do. Like I said, this looks like crap, and that's because it is temporary. So here's the parts that I ordered. I'll show you guys the fuel pumps. Two of these. The micro switch, if you guys need the part number, looks like this. That controls kind of like your throttle situation. Here's my amp, which unfortunately keeps blowing fuses. Very nice dual B circuit, vintage Alpine with the logo without the slashes. So I'm going to try to locate one of those. This is the fuel filter. If you need the part number for W124s, right there. Here's the fuel strainer. You guys have seen me replace these before. Here is the fuel tank main feed line to the pumps. There's your part number. This is a hanger for the fuel pumps, which one of mine was missing, so I got that. Oh, here's the fuel. Here's the part number. Also got. I showed you this guy. Here's my Reman idle air control valve. I was missing switches for the interior, so I ordered some of the switches. And wow, feels so good to just have these basic switches that were missing. There's my radio, by the way. Looks really nice, super clean. I'm going to send this out to get refurbished. The CD player function is in up. I'll light it up for you guys, show you how that works. Another fuel pump. This is, what is this? This was the fuel accumulator overnighted from FCP. This was like $250 part number, and dealer wanted like $450. Vacuum line, got a couple feet of vacuum line to replace because these are brittle, so I'll slowly start replacing those. This one will be the one to replace first. It cracked right here, so I joint it. And yeah, there's a lot of fuel, a lot of lines like that that will need to be replaced eventually. Battery's connected. Grab the key and my AMG coffee mug. Where's the key? Got my key. This is pretty cool. This is from one of my original pre-merger AMG Momo steering wheels. This is the actual leather. I had the steering wheel redone, and the leather maker made me a keychain out of that. Let's see if the battery's not dead. The radio will turn on. There we go. And there's your sound system. Fortunately, this CD is stuck in there. But we got some good bass. We get copyrighted, so that's that. Oh, I also got the antenna fixed. Grommets installed, that's working. Put my AMG Momo steering wheel in here. Show you the antenna. Let's get under the car. I'll show you this MacGyver below me. What's going on? And then we'll test the pumps. So, right off the bat, we got a Euro parts accumulator. That's our first problem. Those are really shitty. And then we got these generic ass fuel pumps, which are probably our second problem. I'll go ahead and we got these bungee cords and zip ties. I don't know what the hell's going on here, to be honest. They lost the screws, nothing was fitting, so that's fun. I don't even know if I'll have the hardware, but I'm gonna try to figure this out. Let's get back under here and test our pump. Not getting any power here. Also not sure if this is a good ground. So it seems like I'm not getting any power from the power cable. I'm gonna test my test light in an area where you would get power. It's on a battery. So the light is working. So I'm not getting power. Could be a relay. Alright, so since I wasn't getting power in the back end, I went ahead and took this wire, cut it, and now we're going to jump pin number 1 and 2, which is right over here. And you guys can hear fuel pumps. So, either I had a bad ground back there, or it's the MOS part number right here. What I'm going to do is get a ground from that battery, extend it, and see if I'm getting power over there. Try that again. Okay, not getting any power directly from a battery. So the MOS is the culprit. Alright, just loosen the main feed line. And we're gonna get all this fuel pouring out. I don't know if this container's enough. It seems like there should be more. We'll let that drain. I got the garage open, so it's ventilated. It still stinks. Should have a mask. I'm gonna open this accumulator hose up. I think that'll help if I could get it off. I gotta put my camera down. So I've disconnected the other line and see if I could find this hose to replace it too, although it's not really hard, so I think I'll just leave it. I couldn't find it. I think the dealer no longer stocks it. Oh, let's get the boring stuff out of the way. My 12-inch subwoofer enclosure came in. Temporary one until I get everything else kind of drawn out and custom made to how I want it. We'll put in the Alpine, we'll drop it in here and we'll mount it, and then I'll eventually show you guys how that sounds once I have everything with the fuel tank sorted. Here is my sub. Alpine's been making this sub for quite some time. It is a retro style 12-inch. So that's pretty cool. Pretty thick. Go ahead and put that guy in here. While I'm waiting, I'm gonna replace the micro switch, which is right there. Take that 7mm. It's a bit of a tight squeeze here. Careful with these vacuum lines. Got the screw out. There's your switch. Let's take a look at this guy. Little rubber boot was ripped. Seen better days. Where's the new one? Compare the two. I'm gonna drop this guy in here somehow. It's pretty tight. There we go. Oh, no. Maybe I could actually plug this in first. Fiddle with this. Okay, plug that in first. Makes life easier. And now
could tighten it down. There we go. Okay, there she is. New switch is in.
Now let's get back to the fuel system.
Alright, so there's my fitting. Need 17 and the 17. Ah, fuck, I got gasoline in my eye. Fuck! That burns! Fuck. That's why they say to wear a protective eye.